Okay, will John Tavares remain an Islander? Now, all season there were rumours that he was going. He was going to get traded. He was going to leave. Someone else was going to take him. There are three reasons why I think he stays. One, Lou Lamoriello is GM and the complete change of the backroom and coaching setup. Doug Waite's gone. Garth Snow's gone. Lamoriello is in. Lamoriello is, well, look what he did to the Maple Leafs. Took him from absolute garbage, worst team in the league, to into the playoffs 2 years in a row. And I think that says something about the man. Yes, Lou Lamoriello is now in his 70s, and obviously he hasn't got long left in an active role in working as a GM, coaching kind of tandem that he was doing at New Jersey, and he's done GMing at Toronto. He hasn't got long left in working in the game, but I do think that he's got a couple of years left. Having him there, and I believe he has had a sit-down conversation with Tavares, and they have offered and tabled a deal in front of him. And they've also allowed him to talk to 5 other teams, including Vegas and the Maple Leafs, amongst others. Some have already pulled out, but others are still in conversations with him. That's a trust that they've already built. Lamoriello is one of those type of guys who will have a rebuild, a plan, and a direction in focus. He's won Stanley Cups as a GM. He knows what he's doing. He's got to the playoffs as a GM. He knows what he's doing. That's one of the reasons why I think he stays. Another reason why I think he stays, the cap space that the Islanders have, they can actually afford to pay him and bring other free agents in, because the free agent signing date is the 1st. They can afford to bring a few players in to strengthen the team. And with Lamoriello as GM, there's a direction there now. Finally, the new arena at Belmont. That says we now have off-ice stability that they haven't had. They've left Nassau, they're not going back there. Barclays has been a disaster for the couple of years they've been there. The team has got worse. Attendances have dropped. Having that new arena, another reason why I think Tavares will stay, because it shows stability. Lamoriello, the arena, the cap space, and the fact that they've actually shown respect to say to him, by the way, you can talk to these teams. They'll counter-offer our offer, and we respect you enough to make a decision. That's something that Garth Snow wasn't doing. He wasn't giving him enough of an offer. Even with the cap space they had many opportunities with Garth Snow as GM to re-sign Tavares, and they didn't do it. Lamoriello has already tabled an offer, and he's been GM for what? A couple of weeks? 2, 3 weeks? If that? Week? 2 weeks? Something like that? Already had a sit-down conversation and said, look, you are allowed to put feelers out for those 5 other teams, but we have an offer here. And it could be a long-term offer, whether they offer him a lot of money. They can afford it, and the cap will go up year on year. They can afford to pay him. Reasons why I think he goes: Vegas is a very enticing offer with the nice tax rates and the fact that the team was contending last year. Tampa as well, contending. Strange though, because I think it may not work with the lineup. Maple Leafs, young team, space, very few veterans. He could slot into a leadership role, which the Maple Leafs need. But he's not a defenseman, so I don't see that one. San Jose, veteran team, been to the final recently. Again, would it unbalance the dressing room? That's the crucial thing. The only team I can see out of the teams that he's been allowed to talk to or rumoured to be linked with is Vegas. Because they also have the cap space, and for some reason, yes, they're an expansion team last year, but George McPhee and Gerard Gallant made every player that joined that team better. So if he was to leave, Vegas. There are a few other teams that have been rumoured, but there are very few teams with the cap space that can, with free agency coming up, and with all these UFAs and RFAs got to be re-signed. Otherwise, they also go into free agency frenzy, as I would call it. Very few teams with enough cap space to sign Tavares on a big contract, which would be anywhere between 8.5 and 11 million. $32 million cap for the Islanders, they can afford to pay him. And they will still have room to sign other players, to make other pieces, to make the team better. They need a goaltender, they need 2 defensemen, and another forward to go with Tavares, and it perfect. Plus, they've got Barzell as well, and they had a good working relationship. They've got some good young prospects. They picked up 2 more in the draft. Lou Lamoriello knows his stuff. I think he's more like stay than go, but I'll be interested to hear from hockey fans in the US, Europe, Canada. Where does Tavares end up? Thank you very much for watching. I know I haven't done many NHL videos lately since the Stanley Cup playoffs, and my playoff beard is having to grow back because I shaved that off. But I'll be very interested to hear what people think. Thank you very much for watching and getting to the end of this brief little video, but it's brief, but he's a big talking point. A lot of people are talking about Tavares. I'm not the only YouTuber, I'm not the only social media person talking about it. The mainstream media are talking about it. He's the main talking point of free agency. There are other names in there, in the free agency, but he's the big one. And this has been going on for about 12 months now. So, new GM, offer on the table. He's allowed to talk to other teams. Ball's in his court now. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, place comments below. I'll have some more videos pretty soon.